Welcome aboard Tristan and Tommy's Runaway Railway. For your safety, please remain seated and enjoy the show.
Welcome to Please Remain Seated, a theme park podcast hosted by two theme park enthusiasts that work for the industry in Orlando, Florida. Today we finally have the complete Halloween Horror Nights house lineup. I'm so excited to talk about that. Also very excited to talk about what they're finally doing in the Top Thrill Dragster. They finally gave us an update. Got a couple other minor roller coaster announcements, an executive change in Disney. For our discussions today, we're going to discuss our top 5 favorite Disney meals. And Tristan's got some Disney transportation history. Tristory, I should say. Tristan, how's it going?
It goes well. It goes well.
You're Tristan, I'm Tommy.
Yes, I am Tristan. Thank you for letting me know because
Yeah.
nobody is listening.
Correct.
Now this show actually gets some views. Can I tell you something about that?
Yes.
Our show on YouTube is more popular than it is on podcast platforms.
Really?
Yep. We get more views. We get more views on YouTube than we do get downloads per episode.
I would not have known that.
Yeah, I know. It must be our faces.
Yeah, we are pretty handsome.
It's the only difference. Speak for yourself. But no, I'm good. Just got back from Vegas, so that was fun. Didn't do any theme park related things there. Went to a Star Trek convention, ate at a buffet, saw a Cirque du Soleil show, and I was in a TV audience, which was pretty cool.
Ooh, for what?
Penn and Teller have a TV show called Penn and Teller Fool Us, which I don't know if you're aware of Penn and Teller, but they're two magicians that have been around for a few decades.
Yeah. And I know that name. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, you know what I'm like? I'm like, Tommy, your microphone isn't working.
Yeah, shut up.
Now it is.
But
now it's not. This microphone's stupid, but I have to hold it anyway because it makes me feel better about my life.
You need a thing in your
Penn and Teller.
Yeah, so I was in their TV audience, and it was really cool being a part of a TV audience for a show where basically the premise of their show is they have magicians come on and try to fool them. And after the magician does their act, they sit in there and they talk, and they have an ear monitor where they've got other people who are watching the cameras, and if they can't figure it out, then the magician fooled them and they win. Yay. And if you fool Penn and Teller, you get to open for them at their show in Vegas. Anyway, so I sit down. The thing was free, and it was in the hotel I was staying at, so it was very convenient and nice. I sit down in there, and before any magicians come out, which I think there were 4, they filmed the audience just doing reactions with nothing actually happening on stage. So they say, okay, look disgusted, and we'd go, ah! And they'd say, okay, laugh like something funny happened, and then we'd fake laugh. So if you ever watch Penn and Teller Fool Us on the CW, new season comes out October 20th, because I'm on it. That's the only reason I care. The audience reactions aren't real at all. They just ask us to react certain ways, and they film it, and then they put it in where they want it. Little behind the scenes information there. And then I saw 4 magicians. 2 of them did fool Penn and Teller. And they were both good. But one was fantastic, man. He did this trick where he kept making balls appear in his one. He did the trick with one hand, and he kept making little balls appear, and he'd throw them in a hat, and then he'd make more appear, throw them in his hat. And that fooled the magician. It was really cool. Anyway, I could go on about that, but Vegas was good. We're back. We're recording another episode. And I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, me too.
So, Tommy, I know.
Yeah, you know I'm.
I know
very
your
excited
microphone
about
isn't
these
working
first
again.
Shut up. But I am very excited to talk about these
First 2 news updates. So back last October, we got our first HHN house announcement. Then they waited all the way till June to give us another one. So it took them, 8 months at least, maybe more than that I didn't do the math, to get us our next one, which was The Last of Us. Then a few weeks later, maybe a month later, we got Stranger Things. And then 2 weeks later, they just announced the rest of the houses for Orlando. And my God, this lineup, I am so hyped about this lineup. So outside of the previously announced Stranger Things 4, Last of Us, and Chucky Ultimate Kill Count, we're also getting Universal Monsters Unmasked, which is going to be Paris themed. You're gonna descend into the Paris catacombs where you and your squad will face a horde of monsters: Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the Phantom of the Opera, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and the Invisible Man. My gosh, I'm so excited about that one. The Universal Monsters last year was really good. So this one with 4 different monsters and in Paris, it's gonna be beautiful. What else we got? Sorry. I have multiple lists everywhere, including my phone background. So We got Dr. Oddfellow's Twisted Origins, who's going to be the icon of this event. For those who are really into HHN lore, if you know Jack the Clown, he kind of has to do with Jack's backstory. And not only does Dr. Oddfellow get his own house this year, he's going to be tied to all 5 of the scare zones this year, which is a really cool concept. We're also getting Exorcist Believer, so the new Exorcist movie that's coming out in October. So like the house is almost gonna be like a trailer for the movie, which should be pretty interesting. But the other original houses I'm super excited for. We're getting Dueling Dragons, Choose Thy Fate. So yes, that is based off of the old roller coaster. They're kind of digging into that story for an HHN house. Also another reminder that I never got to experience that ride, but the house is gonna be really cool. Also The Darkest Deal, which is one I'm very excited about a Southern blues musician selling a soul to the devil. Very curious how it's going to work in a house. Music is going to be really cool. It's going to be really fun. Also got Yeti Campground Kills. Going to get a nice Yeti house. Should be a funny house as well. Also Blood Moon Dark Offerings, which it has to do with a Roanoke moon cult. They worship the moon. Then there's a blood moon, and they want to kill people. I believe that's the story of that one. There is like not a house that I'm not excited for. Like if anyone asks me which one you're most excited for, I would name at least half of them. And then actually the other day, Hollywood also announced theirs, so I guess I have to do these, which they have the same IPs as such: Stranger Things, Last of Us, Chucky, Exorcist, Monsters Unmasked. But then they're also getting Evil Dead Rise, something called Terror Tram, Holidays in Hell, and then the Monsters of Latin America. But anyways, I just said way too many houses. But the Orlando ones, I'm so excited for. Tristan, I bet you're excited about Horror Nights, right? You
No.
excited about those houses? Which one are you most excited for, Tristan?
No. But I do have an idea. There's a thought in my head. So if
I
Universal
don't
is
care about your thought.
running out of ideas, okay, and they're going back to attractions that they tore down to build something that's going to bring in more people to base houses off of.
Yep.
Do you think, since it's not open in Disney World anymore, they could make a horror version of the Great Movie Ride and make a house out of it? Wouldn't that be
Ooh,
something?
that would
You
be
could do it.
interesting.
I don't know what it would be,
Yeah,
but
I'm
it's
not
an
sure
idea.
either.
Because
I
when
mean,
you
I was just gonna say
but
like
and
they always have
so
like
what
some sort of IP every year at least. But anyway,
Dang, I was trying to do a bit with you, Tommy, where we
my
both
bad.
talk like 3 and then we cut each other off because we're interrupting each other, and then we do it
I feel
again.
like that's almost what Terror Tram is in Universal's Hollywood Horror Nights.
Yeah.
I might actually be totally wrong about that. I should have done more research on that, but I know
Mm.
that's like a returning house.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, you're a good idea.
Hey, that's what my parents thought.
Hey yo,
Hey,
I wish I could say the same.
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
But anyways, HHN lineup for this year in Orlando. I'm way too hyped. I wish we had recorded this episode closer to when the announcements were happening, because I feel like I was a lot more excited around then. But you know, HHN is only like a few weeks away. Like it's less than a month away at this point. Like there's already decorations going up, like photos of like some of the facades are online already, or at least what they're working on. It's gonna be cool. But anyways, I can talk about how excited I am for 12 hours. So let's go on to the next one. So Tristan, when are we uploading this on Monday?
Yeah.
Cool. So 2 years ago, as of the day we're uploading this, Top Thrill Dragster had an incident that closed it down for 2 years at this point now. Obviously, it didn't open up in 2022, didn't open up in this year, and they announced that they're going to be reimagining it. And then we finally got the announcement very recently about what they're doing with it. They're going to be calling it Top Thrill 2, and it will be what they're calling the world's fastest triple launching strata coaster, which I think they could just say the tallest and fastest multi-launch coaster in the world, because that's what it is. It's going to start off, you leave the station, and then the track you're on transfers like a switch track, sort of similar to I think Icebreaker at SeaWorld Orlando or Pantheon, except this is a lot bigger and faster. It is going to do an initial launch forward of 75 miles an hour into the top hat, and then it's going to launch backwards at 101 miles per hour, and it's going to have a 420-foot vertical spike that it launches backwards into. So they are adding the rumored swing launch, and then it's going to launch forward at 120 miles per hour. It's going to be launched by LSM magnets. So instead of the old hydraulic launch, which was a maintenance nightmare as it was, they're adding a much more reliable LSM launch system, which there might be some enthusiasts that complain about that. It's not as powerful, but I mean, you're getting 3 different launches, and 2 of them are over 100 miles an hour. which is pretty insane. Like I figured out some random specific records about this ride. So, obviously it'll be the world's tallest and fastest multi-launch coaster. It will be the only roller coaster to feature 2 launches that are over 100 miles per hour. And with that vertical spike, the vertical spike is 420 feet tall. I doubt you're not going to reach the very top of that, but I'm pretty sure with that, this is going to be the first roller coaster with 2 different drops that are over 300 to 350 feet tall. So it's going to have that. It's going to be the longest strata coaster, so longest roller coaster over 400 feet tall. It's going to have the fastest backwards launch as well. These stats look insane. This is going to be an insane ride, and I cannot wait to finally experience it. Tristan, what do you think about Top Thrill 2?
It is rare that you talk about a roller coaster, and I think, yeah, I want to get on that. But having said that, whenever this sucker opens, I might send an old text message to Tommy and be like, "Hey, let's plan a trip to Ohio," because, god dang, I want to ride that. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I forgot if I mentioned, but this is going to be manufactured by Zamperla, or at least the update is. They're including their new Lightning trains, which are a lot lighter, and maintenance on them should not be as difficult either. So that's like one of the reasons they're going with them. This is a very long time manufacturer in the theme park industry. They have never built anything on this scale. But I'm still very excited for what they're doing with this ride. Oh my God.
Your brain just launched at 120 miles an hour right out of your head.
It really does. It launches faster than my mouth can speak. Or no, I think my mouth speaks faster than my brain can launch. That's definitely more accurate. But oh my God. I feel like I've seen a lot of enthusiasts complain about the name Top Thrill 2. And I'm just thinking, shut up. And then I feel like I've seen some like, wow, the first launch is only 75 miles per hour. That's faster than Velocicoaster.
Yeah.
Like that's not a launch to scafe at something. Like it has 3 launches and 2 of them are over 100 miles an hour. Like this ride is going to kill people. I can't wait. Of course it's not
hasn't it? So.
And I know people are going to miss the hydraulic launch that would go 0 to 120 versus the 75 to 100 to 120. But I mean, you're still going to be at a prolonged, very fast speed. Like I think the people are going to be very surprised by how powerful it is. Because with this, I don't think there's a roller coaster where you're going as fast as you do on this ride for as long. Because like you think King Ka at launch is from 0 to 128, but then it just goes up into the top hat down and that's it. Formula Rosa launches 150 miles per hour, but then it breaks on its hill that's less than 200 feet tall. This you're going to be at over 100 miles per hour for a pretty long duration, I feel like. So that's going to be pretty cool. But yeah, Tristan, I'm looking forward to our trip to Ohio.
We're going. Like, I mean it.
We're going to Ohio.
Go. Yeah, we're doing
And speaking of Ohio, Kings Island today, the day that we recorded this, announced that they are getting a brand new Vekoma family boomerang coaster.
Yes, Snoopy Soapbox Racers. And that's it.
Yeah, very baby boomerang type of coaster. And funny enough, this is the second Vekoma family boomerang announcement that's been within the last month. Holiday World is getting one called Good Gravy, which I'm like that's a hilarious name. I love that for them. And then also Dorney Park announced that they're getting a B&M dive coaster, and it kind of looks cool. Like it's a very compact layout. It's 160 feet tall with a 95-degree drop. So like think Griffin, Sheikra, that type of roller coaster, Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger. But then it literally just goes, it does the drop, it does an Immelman, a barrel roll, a tilted loop, a corkscrew, and a turnaround, and then goes back to the station. Like it's a very nice, tight looking layout, and like I think it's very cool for a smaller park like that. Like I mean, I'd want it in my park. Just I like a nice compact layout,
That's what I challenge myself to do whenever I play Roller Coaster Tycoon. I think how cool of a coaster can I build if I make a tiny little
Yes. Like if this roller coaster was in Roller Coaster Tycoon, it would be like 2 tiles wide. Maybe 3. Maybe 3.
You can't even put a turn in 3 tiles, Tommy.
So
you can't even put a turn
Okay, maybe 3 or 4, but
You can't do
you-
that. You can't put 2 turns.
challenge accepted.
Oh my god.
I will build a something by 4 and then I will send it to you.
Please do. I'm waiting.
Oh yeah.
I
Anywho,
feel like it's a missed opportunity to make a family boomerang coaster and not call it Baby Boomer.
baby boomer.
Or a roller coaster. Here's an idea. Roller coaster for newborn babies.
Yo, let's go.
Yeah. And it
I
goes,
mean, isn't that Daddy Pigs?
well, I was thinking less than that. But if we could still somehow make it go 120 miles an hour, that'd be pretty cool.
I'm pretty sure that would kill them, but okay, yeah.
Whatever.
I don't think there's a
Um,
safe way to do that unless they're on an airplane, which isn't really a roller coaster.
You could build a roller coaster on an airplane.
That is true.
Okay.
Cool.
What's next? Is it
What's next?
is it Bob Iger?
Something like that. Something about the executive. Spoiler alert: Tom Staggs.
Okay. I have the
Tell us
article
about.
here.
Tell us about that.
So, from what I've gathered, and not a lot of this is official, other than little things Bob Iger has said here and there. But Bob Iger, in an interview a while ago, said that when he was questioned about Disney's television assets, specifically like ABC and FX, that they might not be, and I quote, may not be core to Disney's business. So he said that. And then in that same interview, he said he was working with strategic partners in a possible workaround of that problem. Didn't really obviously give many details, but it has now been announced that what's their name? Tom Staggs and Kevin Mayer have been hired as consultants to redefine the strategy of Disney's television assets. So they're going to look at ESPN, it said, and see what they can do with ESPN. Didn't really give any details, but they're going to look at it and somehow reformat it to fit Disney's media vision better. And they're also going to look possibly at selling off ABC, the channel, and FX, specifically the ABC channel. I don't think they're going to sell the entire ABC company. I don't think Bob Iger would allow that to happen because that's how he got into Disney, and it would just be weird. Probably a bad decision. But anyway, so yeah, Tom Staggs and Kevin Mayer used to work for the company. They left. Kevin Mayer, I think, was actually he was in charge of TikTok for like a hot minute. And then
Oh wow. I didn't know that.
very briefly. And then the two of them, Tom Staggs and Kevin Mayer, have their own company, Candle Media, which they founded together in 2021. I don't really know what that whole company is all about. But anyway, so yeah, in a surprising decision, Bob Iger did bring these two people back into the company to help fix what has happened to the company and where its weird direction has come from. One of them, I don't remember which one, actually rolled out Disney Plus. Kevin Mayer, yeah. He was in on the launch of Disney Plus and was considered as a front runner for CEO, but was succeeded by Bob Chapek.
Yeah. I think Tom Staggs was also considered
Yeah.
as well, at least by a lot of fans. I feel like I've seen that online, like Tom Staggs, and then I feel like he left. I forget when he initially left the company. Wasn't it late 2010s?
What, Staggs?
Yeah.
Yeah, this says 2016.
Oh yeah, 2016.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people thought, yeah, either him or Kevin would take on the helm, but then they made it Bob Chapek for some reason.
Yep.
You know, a lot of people assumed that they made it Chapek to be the fall guy or whatever. I don't like to delve into theories that aren't confirmed, but
Who knows?
Who knows? But some interesting Disney executive news there.
Yeah.
Not really theme park related, but still interesting in the whole shakeup of things.
Not for sure. And like I think, since like these two people were like considered front runners for CEO, and Iger did recently extend his contract, and part of his initial contract was trying to find a successor. There could be a connection there. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe
Two names.
maybe not at all, but
it's possible.
maybe
It's very possible. They have the experience.
Yeah.
They were almost there. So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
There's the news.
That is news.
I'm sure we'll have more later, but that's the news for today. And this next discussion is something Tommy thought up, and I am immensely excited to talk about it. Tommy, what is it?
So this is going to be our top 5 favorite Disney meals on property. And honestly, over the last few months, me and my girlfriend have had a lot of really good Disney meals. So I am going to have some recency bias in this list, but I am genuinely having a hard time like when I'm looking back at some of the best meals I've had on property, like these are up there 1000% for me. The ones that I'm going to talk about today. Um, one of them was actually yesterday of recording this. And Tristan, you love Disney food. I love Disney food. I can talk Disney food all day. Narrowing this to 5 was very, very hard. But Tristan, how about you? You have a hard time narrowing this down to 5?
Kind of. I went back to my list of my favorite Disney restaurants, and
Yeah.
my list here specifically for meals is kind of similar. It's a little bit out of order.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
will talk about the specific menu items on this list.
Okay. Good deal. Yeah, I definitely want to get into a lot of my specific menu items as well. And I just had a brain fart. I'm like, just because there's been so much good food I've had on property, I will say I feel like some of my top 5, it's going to be things that I feel like aren't talked about enough, but I do feel like they definitely deserve to be on my list that I'm going to be talking about today.
We just gonna sit here in silence? Am I listening to my
Yeah.
ceiling fan, or are you gonna read your
Correct.
list?
Okay, I guess I'll go first.
Yeah, go first.
For number 5, I'm gonna go with the meal I had yesterday, flying fish for dinner. It was the first time I ever went there, and it was very expensive, but it was so good. My girlfriend had like this potato wrapped, was it swordfish? I wish I remember the name of the fish, but I had this seafood trophy pasta, and it had mussels, scallops, oyster, shrimp, lobster, and the sauce was so good. We also had a lobster bisque appetizer that we split. The bread was really warm. It had bread service, obviously. Very, very yummy meal. And the dessert was this chocolate thing, and like there was like a warm chocolate pour that they did on it that like made the center all gooey, and oh my God, killed me, Tristan. This meal killed me. My mouth, my belly, they were so happy after this one.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. I'm actually switching my number 4 and 5 right now. I'm just
Ooh,
going
okay.
with my heart on it. So my number 5 is hopefully I'm pronouncing this right, the Rioja braised chicken at Toledo, which is at the
Ooh.
top of the Gran Destino Tower at the Contemporary. Very good.
Did you say Gran Destino Tower at the Contemporary?
No, I did not. You're mishearing that. I'll edit it later. I did say that. Yes. At the other one that's C.
Coronado.
That one. But the Contemporary comes back because
Yep.
the Contemporary is my number 2. But we'll get to that.
Ooh.
No spoilers now.
Okay.
Chef
Settle
Mickey.
down. Settle down.
But yes, the chicken comes with this really great rice. That I don't know what it is about this rice, but it's better than all the other rice I've ever eaten. And it's also just a really nice fancy place up there. So, but the chicken is really good.
Nice. My number 4, I got Ale and Compass breakfast. I had the crab cake Benedict. So good. Honestly, one of the best breakfast foods I've ever put into my mouth. And my girlfriend got dark chocolate waffles. Yeah. And then, of course, we did not go with it, but there's like a slight upcharge if we wanted to include the buffet with our meal. And I'm sure there's some like decent stuff in the buffet, but like the entrees themselves were enough to fill us up. So honestly, like I don't think you need the buffet edition if you go to Ale and Compass breakfast, but like the food they have there is so good. I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk about the breakfast there. So I'm very happy that my girlfriend suggested it and that we went there because oh my God, it killed me. Like I love a good eggs Benedict. So like when they do something like a crab cake, or I've had some good salmon Benedicts before, like this one killed me. Like one of the best, if not the best. I mean, it's the only breakfast I have on here, spoiler alert, but like it was so freaking good.
I'm glad you brought a breakfast in because I have no breakfast on mine. So
Yeah.
the only breakfast pick. Also, isn't it interesting? Someone out there named Benedict, his legacy is just eggs on an English muffin with some
Right?
sauce, with some hollandaise. That's his
Yeah.
legacy.
A poached egg.
A poached egg. I love a poached egg too. It's a very special type
Yeah.
of egg. It's rare. Not a lot of poached eggs out there to be eaten. So my number 4 is the carnivore skillet at Whispering Canyon Cafe.
Ooh.
Let me tell you, so good. Comes with cornbread, ribs, brisket, pork, chicken, potatoes, and a couple of vegetables that I don't eat. There are 2 other types of skillets there. I don't know what they are. I don't care what they are because I like the meat one.
Yeah.
And oh golly, is it good? Also, just very fun atmosphere as well.
Yeah.
At the Whispering Canyon Cafe
Yeah.
and Wilderness Lodge.
Yeah. I almost included Whispering Canyon on this list just because I absolutely love it. Breakfast or dinner. I mean, I think the lunch and dinner is the same, but like those skillets, the all you can eat, the atmosphere, it is so, so, so good. I love Whispering Canyon. Just missed out on mine. For my number 3, I'm about to beat you to the contemporary Steakhouse 71 lunch. The stack burger is the best burger I've ever had. Their appetizer of the bacon and eggs is the best appetizer on property. It is like a pork belly with a poached egg and cheese grits, and like the sauce that they use on the pork belly is incredible. Steakhouse 71 used to be the Wave, and the bacon and eggs were also an appetizer there. I remember when I ate at the Wave before it closed, a waiter had told me that they changed their menu fairly often, like at least once a year almost. But the bacon and eggs had been around for 10 years. Like they're never getting rid of the bacon and eggs. It's so good. And like there's a couple other appetizers we had. And then also take their chocolate cake to go. I mean, or you can eat it there if you're hungry enough, but like if you're able to take it to go, it's a very nice dessert to have later. Love Steakhouse 71.
Me as well. Me as well.
Oh,
So
oh.
my number 3 tastes like chicken because it is
Ah,
at the Skipper Canteen.
let's go. I'm so glad you're giving them a shout.
So good. Well, didn't think I was gonna like it there because I always heard their food was very well adventurous. But I went there and I've probably eaten there 3 times now or something, and that chicken is good. Some sort of a sweet chili sauce on the chicken, and as our former podcast co-host Eric likes to call them, snot biscuits, which are cheese biscuits. These are biscuits with melted cheese in the middle of them. Very good as well as an appetizer. Didn't see them on the menu though when I checked today, so I don't know if they.
I think you're is that the Brazilian cheese bread?
Yeah, they have it there, and they have
because-
it at the festival too.
Yep, because the Brazilian cheese bread at Skipper's Canteen is off menu.
Oh, okay, but it's still there.
It's an off menu item, but every time I've been there, the waiters bring it up.
Okay,
They're like, "This is off menu, but it is here for some reason," and it's
Makes
really
it
good.
exclusive.
I love Brazilian cheese bread. It is so good.
Snot biscuits. Yeah.
It's not, you know, I take offense to that. Love me.
It's not me. It's Eric.
Love
Eric
me.
said that.
You know what? Eric is dumb. Come at me, Eric,
All right, what you got?
or don't. I'm a wimp. My next one, this one is, I feel like it's criminally underrated. I mean, I think people are starting to take notice of it more, but Sebastian's Bistro at Caribbean Beach. They have all you can eat family style food. It's like a taste of the Caribbean type of menu. They do have, rolls that they bring out that are really, really good, like their buttery house baked pull apart rolls. And then a part of like their appetizers, they have like this really nice salad with a key lime dressing that's so, so yummy. Like that dressing kills me. For their Taste of the Caribbean, they have citrus chicken, pork, some beef, even some fish. There's also some beans and rice that like come as like the appetizer. That's like, or I think it comes with the entree. It's really, really good. And then the dessert, the coconut pineapple bread thing, kills me. It is so good. They also have it at Kona Cafe. I think they have it at Ohana as well. But like this all you can eat menu is only like $35 a person. It is so, so good. Like I almost I want more people to know about it, but I also hope it doesn't get too blown up because I love the price and I don't want it to like be ruined by popularity or something. But Sebastian's Bistro, so good.
Right there with you. I ate there a few months ago for the first and only time, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Loved it. The only thing is,
coconut bread pudding. Oh my god.
I was unsure if it was actually all you can eat. Like they didn't.
Really?
Yeah, and they didn't really make it seem like it was when we got there,
Interesting.
and it is. I confirmed it
Yeah.
today when I was looking it up, and They didn't really say that it was when I ate there.
Interesting.
So like I was afraid to ask for more because I was afraid of the confrontation of the waiter having to say, "Oh no."
And like,
So,
did the menu just like have like the Taste of the Caribbean options or whatever?
I don't
Like
remember.
where they brought everything out? Because I
I
know
think
at
so.
one point it wasn't all you can eat. I forget when they changed to that, but
Hmm. I don't know nothing
I
about
feel like it
nothing.
had to have been this year though. So
Hmm. Maybe. No, it was still really good though. Loved it.
yeah, it was
Loved
yeah.
it. Okay. My number 2. Here we are. Guess
All
where we're
right, number
going?
2.
We're going to Steakhouse 71.
Yo, let's go.
Where we're at, I'm talking here about the French onion soup as an appetizer, which is
Mm-hmm.
required if you ask
Uh-huh.
me.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Uh-huh.
And then they don't have this as a regular side, the garlic parmesan waffle fries, but if you order the steak frites item off the menu, it comes with garlic parmesan waffle fries. And I think it may be another. Oh, and I don't know, something else I didn't eat. A garlic aioli. Um, or with it. But anyway, the steak frites, little kind of like steak
Mm-hmm.
medallions. It's not a lot of meat, but it's really good. But when you pair that with the waffle fries and the French onion soup, which is actually a pretty filling soup, you will be full. French onion soup's only $10. Not the
Wow.
worst price for an appetizer.
Yeah, no.
At Disney.
No. Yeah.
So good. So good.
All right. So I'm going to my number 1 now,
Hold on. Yes,
or not?
you
Okay,
are.
cool. All right. So for my number 1, storybook dining at Artist Point at the Wilderness Lodge. I really wanted to like say something about the Wilderness Lodge when you brought up Whispering Canyon because I'm like between that and Artist Point, Wilderness Lodge kills me.
Mm-hmm.
But storybook dining, I normally don't even like care for character dining. Like it is very nice with Snow White, Grumpy, Dopey, and the Evil Queen. The Evil Queen's really fun when you get to meet her at the end of your meal. But the food there is so good. And it's like they do not advertise it, but it's like low key all you can eat. Like the 2 times I went with my girlfriend, we just ordered because like we ordered 3 different entrees because it's a prefix menu, but like you choose your entree. Like they bring out your appetizers, you choose your entree, then they bring out the desserts. But me and my girlfriend, we were able to get 3 entrees instead of just 2. The pork shank is the best thing I've ever put in my mouth. It was incredible. We also tried their I think it was oh my God, what's the type of steak? I don't want to say prime rib. Maybe it was prime rib. No, wait, no, that's not it. This is killing me. Filet mignon with horseradish mashed potatoes. So good. They also had a stroll through, that's what they called stroll through nature. It was a gnocchi. So good. And like one of their appetizers was like this mushroom bisque. That could have been a meal itself, honestly. It was so good. The atmosphere, the food, very much worth the character dining price. Incredible. I think about that food. I think about that pork shank all the time. But anyways, Tristan, what's your number 1?
Well, I'll go. I think about this all the time too. Just along with Steakhouse 71, I think about this most days. And I'm talking here about the chicken and donuts at Chef Art Smith's Homecoming at Disney Springs.
Yeah. Let's go.
Good grief.
Oh my God. Homecoming, no business.
No, and it is fan. I know Tommy is a fan of one of their liquid beverages that they sell there as well at the Homecoming.
Oh
Is
yeah.
that correct?
I
You
got
got
my
your cup,
moonshine cup, even though I've never actually used it more than the day that I got it.
which was the day me and you went and saw a movie at Disney Springs. Yes.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
The last
Ayo.
couple times I've been there, I've honestly just gotten the chicken biscuit appetizer and a side of mac and cheese,
Mm.
which is like a $20 meal, but like that mac and cheese is honestly the best on property. Or
It's
like it's
good.
up there. Like it's up there.
Is good.
Yeah.
I think the chicken and donuts might come with the side. I don't remember, but
Ooh.
I think I've gotten the mac and cheese there for sure, and it is very good. But and I've talked about it on the show before. I'm going to talk about it again, so get your ears ready. But the fried chicken is the best fried chicken I've ever had.
Yep.
And I believe it comes with 2, maybe 3 little cinnamon donuts with some syrup that you can dip them into, and then it's all on one plate. And then they put powdered
Yep.
sugar on all of it, including the
Yep.
chicken. Which when I got it originally, I was like, "There's powdered sugar on my chicken. What is this?" It made it so much better.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
No business.
And then the donuts are like the dessert, but it's part of the entree, and they're so good.
Yeah.
But that fried chicken, man, it is just the best. I love a good fried chicken.
Yeah.
It is so good. It is so good. But that's my
Yeah.
number one. Not owned by Disney, but operated by Disney at Disney
Yeah.
Springs. Definitely check it out.
Absolutely. And honestly, like if for whatever reason you can't find a reservation, almost every time I've gone there, there's open seats at the bar. Like out of all the times I've been there, most of it has been me walking up to the bar. So like, yeah, that's
Mm.
honestly one of my life hacks. Like if there are restaurants on property that you can't get a reservation for, see if they have a bar and walk up to it.
Steakhouse 71 has a bar. You can order.
They do.
I don't know if you can order off the full menu, but certain items.
They definitely do have certain items. I think when I had lunch there,
Mhm.
they did have some of the items there, but like it wasn't like full entrees. Like
Mhm.
I think they had the stack burger, but like without a side. I forgot if even like the bacon and eggs were there. I actually don't even remember the stack. Like it wasn't like a full menu, but they had a lot of the items there.
Mm-mm-mm.
But
Mm. I
Homecoming
could talk
is
about
full.
that all day.
Yeah.
That is so good.
Yeah.
So I do have a theme park TRISTory here that I'm actually going to insert later because it's kind of long and Mother Zoom will end this call for us before I get done reading it. But it's going to be about Disney transportation. There is a long history with Disney transportation, and this is really just exclusive to Disneyland and Walt Disney World in terms of my little lesson. But it goes in depth on all the modes of transportation, a little bit of history about all of them. So I'm going to insert that right here. All right, let's delve into some Disney transportation. We're going to start over at Disneyland. We're going to talk about some of their different modes of transportation. First, starting with the Disneyland Railroad, there are 4 stations around the perimeter of Disneyland: Main Street USA, New Orleans Square, Mickey's Toontown, and Tomorrowland. If you want to learn more about the railroad, we actually have an episode where we cover some history about Claude Coates back in Please Remain Seated, episode 14. So go back and listen to that, and we'll get more into depth about the Disneyland Railroad on that episode. Moving on over to Main Street USA, we got the Main Street vehicles, which are the horse-drawn streetcar, the jitney, the fire engine, and the omnibus. You can board either at Town Square near City Hall or at Central Plaza in front of Sleeping Beauty Castle, and you can ride to the other end of Main Street from whichever end you got on. For more information on the Main Street vehicles, you'll want to listen to episode 8 of our show, where we talk about Bob Gurr and all the work that he did. And some of his work's actually going to come back later in this little TRISTory lesson over on the East Coast as well. Moving on over to the Disneyland monorail, opened in June 14th, 1959 for the rededication of Tomorrowland. Then Vice President Richard Nixon was the special guest for the opening ceremony for the monorail. Fun fact, he has a little bit of history at Walt Disney World as well. He gave his famous "I'm not a crook" speech at the Contemporary Resort. Fun fact. The monorail track was expanded in 1961 from being just a round-trip attraction to a real mode of transportation, taking guests from the Tomorrowland station to the now demolished Disneyland Hotel station. The downtown Disney station was opened the year 2000, which is actually kind of near where the Disneyland Hotel station was. These are the only 2 stations on the monorail route, and sometimes only one-way trips are offered from one station to the other, requiring passengers to disembark and get back in line if they want to go back where they came from. They do that during peak periods where there's a lot of traffic on the monorail. Now, obviously, Disneyland doesn't have a lot of transportation options because it's so small. I mean, there is technically a tram that goes from the parking garage to near the entrance of Disneyland, but even then, it's still a little bit of a walk from where you get off the tram and walk into the entrance of Disneyland. So that pretty much wraps up Disneyland. We're going to hop on over to Walt Disney World now, where the modes of transportation are much more expansive, as you can imagine. Walt Disney World is something like 27,000 square acres, so it's pretty large. And we're going to hop on into the transportation there as well. We're going to start, of course, with the monorail. Opened with the Walt Disney World property in 1971 with only the Magic Kingdom Resort and Magic Kingdom Express lines. It was added to the Epcot line with the parks opening in 1982. Like the Disneyland monorail, the Epcot monorail line offers great views of the inside of the park, whereas the Magic Kingdom lines only offer a limited and very brief view of Main Street USA. So Disneyland, obviously, you get really great views of Disneyland Park when you ride the monorail, specifically over Tomorrowland. It's a really cool area where the monorail is going over 20,000 leagues under the sea, which is the Finding Nemo thing now, as well as the Autopia track is like right there as well. So there's all these different vehicles moving around. It's very cool to see. One of the most interesting modes of transportation, in my opinion, at Walt Disney World is actually the parking tram, believe it or not. There's a really interesting history with the parking tram over at the TTC. So originally, the parking tram ran from the TTC parking lot to the entrance of the Magic Kingdom, which meant the trams had to travel over a mile and up the steep grade of the Lagoon Underpass. which is the little underpass where you actually go under the water bridge that connects Seven Seas Lagoon to Bay Lake. Now, this caused a great challenge for the designer of the trams. It was Bob Gurr again. The trams were overhauled, and an unlimited budget of money and labor were given to Gurr when they realized that the trams weren't going to clear that steep grade. So the work had to be done in less than a month for cast members to begin training, and then less than a month after that before the trams began carrying guests, the opening of Walt Disney World. Eventually, they got the trams to struggle up the hill at 3 miles an hour fully loaded, but a new design was already underway so the trams could operate on a cleaner fuel. Now we're going to move on over to the ferry boats and the watercraft at Walt Disney World. Walt Disney World Resort offers many different types of watercraft transportation, including the ferry boats, cruisers, and launches at the Magic Kingdom Resort area, the friendship boats of the Epcot and Hollywood Studios Resort area, and the Sassagoula boats of the Disney Springs Resort area. The 3 Magic Kingdom ferries are named the Admiral Joe Fowler, the Richard F. Irvine, and the General Joe Potter. The first 2 originally being named the Magic Kingdom 1 and the Magic Kingdom 2 respectively, but renamed after the 2 riverboats that used to operate in the rivers of America, one of which was renamed to the Liberty Belle after the other was destroyed after being dropped from a crane in dry dock. And that Liberty Belle boat is the same steamboat that runs in the rivers of America today. Now, the friendship boats were built 2 at a time, starting with the Friendship 1 and 2 in 1980 and tested in the Seven Seas Lagoon and Bay Lake before being taken to Epcot's World Showcase for its opening in 1982. Friendship 3 and 4 were added in late 1982, and 5 and 6 were added for the connection of the Half Moon Lagoon, which is also commonly referred to as Crescent Lake, to World Showcase, soon followed by the 7 and the 8 after that. The friendship boats are currently reverting back to their original color scheme of solid colors instead of the striped scheme introduced to the boats in the mid-90s. The Sassagoula boats at Disney Springs are basically pontoon boats, and they're dumb. All right, buses. Walt Disney World's fleet currently has nearly 500 buses operating between the parks, resorts, and Disney Springs. Buses now offer such amenities as GPS tracking, notated on monitors at the resort stops, full ADA accessibility, as well as Wi-Fi on many, if not all at this point, of Walt Disney World buses. Now, the minivans, another relatively new form of transportation, began in July of 2017. The Minnie Mouse-themed service transports guests or visitors around the Walt Disney World property for a distance-based fee, with service to Orlando International Airport for concierge-level guests, which I did not know. That's kind of interesting. The standard vehicle is a Chevy Suburban that can hold 6 passengers or ADA-accessible Ford Transits that hold 4 passengers plus 2 wheelchairs or scooters. Minivans are available through the Lyft mobile app. All right, last but not least, the Skyliner, officially the newest form of transportation around Walt Disney World and arguably the most unique. Opened on September 29th of 2019, the Skyliner is a new and unique form of transportation to a Walt Disney World property, offering flights to Epcot and Hollywood Studios via resort stops or transfers at the Riviera, the Caribbean Beach, Pop Century, and Art of Animation resorts. The Boardwalk, Yacht and Beach Clubs, and Swan and Dolphin resorts are also within walking distance of the Epcot station. There are over 250 cabins, each holding up to 10 guests or 6 plus a wheelchair or scooter. The Skyliner opened during arguably one of the most exciting periods of expansion and change in Walt Disney World's history, opening a month after Galaxy's Edge opened at Hollywood Studios, and the same week of the last Illuminations Reflections of Earth fireworks show and the first Epcot Forever fireworks show at Epcot. So there's a very brief overview of Walt Disney World transportation. If you didn't know, there's a lot of different modes of transportation, as you can tell, around Walt Disney World. So we hope you enjoyed that. And we're going to hop on back into what was previously recorded and talk us out of the episode. And we're back. I hope you enjoyed that little lesson. Tommy, don't you love Disney transportation?
I love Disney transportation. That was such a cool lesson.
Boats.
I love boats.
But anywho, we want to thank you for listening. Tommy, please thank everyone for listening.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to us. Rate us 5 stars, like, comment, subscribe, etc., etc. We love you.
Love you, love you.
Please remain seated. Pull on your yellow strap.
Send
Push
us
up
money.
on your lap bar. Something.
Bye.
Bye.